Ladies and gentlemen, we're here.
I'm part of the Kliq, isn't everybody?
Yes! 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 I got an idea, yeah. Beat up John Cena!
Give me a hell yeah!
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Too sweet! This is where the power lies!
I am the man.
Beat me if you can! Come on! It's showtime, folks!
The following episode is scheduled for one fall, and it is for your listening pleasure. This is In The Kliq.
What's up, everybody? Baby Huey here, and joining me once again is my good brother from the Bullet Cast. It's Phillip. How you doing, man?
I'm back. Yes, the prodigal son has returned to the ITK to give each and every single one of the Kliqsters a lethal dose of PEA, performance enhancing audio.
Nice. I love that. And also joining us is our good brother from within the ropes. It's Brian Tronics. How's it going, man?
From the Queen City. What's up, guys?
Dude, Phillip, look at that smile on Brian's face, man. He's rocking a new microphone. He is like,
Yes!
dude, he looks like a true professional now. He makes us look like jabronis.
He
Welcome,
found my
everybody.
smile, which I lost.
Welcome, everybody, to Within the Kliq.
I was going to say, he can do some voiceover work now with that thing.
Hello,
Good.
my name is Brian, and you are now watching the Tron Show.
Here we can lay down.
Troncast.
Troncast.
The Tron Cast.
But, Baby Huey, you didn't introduce me correctly.
What, dude, there's so many goddamn nicknames you have. I can't keep
The
I mean,
guy that doesn't tell us his picks.
Yes, yes.
Listen here. I haven't been here in a while, so the Kliqsters need to know. I am the Bulletcast Heritage Universal Champion. I wanted Bound for Glory because I watched the Impact product, so I knew.
Bull. I call
knew.
bull.
What do you mean?
I call bull.
Look, I will tell you this. There have been other events.
I'm going to start shooting right now. That's bull.
There have been other events in which my picks have not been known, and I have lost. Okay? Why would I start now? Why would I Jeff Jarrett it now? Huh?
Because you lost your smile and you're looking for anything to make yourself happy and take photos of yourself for the gram.
Look,
from a ring light.
I'm the last ever Bulletcast champion. Okay.
Yeah. You know what? I think I lost my smile, and I think I'm gonna make an announcement from here on out. I'm not gonna make any more picks then for the Bulletcast championship.
Well, see, here's the thing. The Bulletcast championship can come back.
Undisputed Bulletcast Heavyweight Champion.
The title can come back, but I said it on the Bulletcast, and I'm going to say it here. It's up to you guys, though.
No, but Brian, we let's break it down real quick, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a couple weeks ago was Bound for Glory, and it was the week after Crown Jewel. We had Crown Jewel. We all made picks. I came out champion out of the Crown Jewel, and all of a sudden, literally 2 days before Bound for Glory's pay-per-view, Phillip sends a text, "Hey man, let's do picks for Impact Wrestling." I was like, "What? Wait, none of us watch Impact Wrestling and talk about it on a regular. Why are we doing picks for this pay-per-view?"
Everybody sent in their picks, but who did Phillip pick?
Yeah, and that's the thing. So I scrambled.
My picks are out there.
I scrambled and did research, based on the card and, seeing, what people are talking about. And I did my best to make an educated guess on the outcome for Bound for Glory. And I did okay. I think I missed, 3 or something like that. But
I missed one.
And all of a sudden, like literally what, Saturday night, Brian, after the pay-per-view, all of a sudden Phil posts a photo of himself, with both belts on his shoulders, staring off into like the sunset, claiming to be the new Bulletcast champion or whatever the 5-name word you're making up for yourself now. I was like, what the F? What were his picks? Do we know? Does anyone documented this? Like, this is ridiculous. I call BS. Like, literally, I was like, I'm done with this, man. You throwing out a last minute pay-per-view for none of us watch or talk about on a regular basis. I was like, I was pissed. I was like, screw this. I'm done. I'm going to go buy my own title at a store and make my own picks and call myself my own champion.
I mean, I'm sure West Coast can make you one.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know why my picks are out there.
No, but that's the thing. It's like first off, you do this last minute thing, and if anything, we should do like an actual video podcast, whatever, where we all give our picks. We all kind of know where we're coming at with all this. So
it's on like, record.
Yeah, and then we don't know what Phil's picks were. He could easily got all of our picks and then be like, all right. And decide on the fly wherever his were. Like, I'm the winner no matter what. Like,
you guys want to do picks for GSW's Thanksgiving show?
Hell no. Who watches that? No. No. Not for some indie show.
Why not?
No, I mean, I know. Respect to them for doing their thing as independent promotion, but like, I don't know what's going on there with the storylines and whatnot.
Okay, so look, I'll put it to you guys
if
like
anything,
this.
we do West Coast Pro Wrestling unless we watch that. It's local here.
I mean, I will put it to you guys like this. The only way that this championship will come back, November 21st, I'm doing some commentary at Ugwageddon.
Okay.
If I see you, Baby Huey, if I see Brian Tronic,
I was there.
If I see Brandon Tanguma watching me do what I do,
I was there.
The championship comes back. It comes back for what? I don't know. Maybe day one? Day one? I think that's fair.
Might as well keep that belt retired then.
Oh!
I'm done. I was like, what kind of shady stuff is this?
I'm going to be the last ever Bulletcast
undisputed Bulletcast champion.
Go ahead, man. Take more photos in front of your ring light to post on the gram.
It wasn't the ring light first. It was a flash.
The reflection was in your glasses.
It was the flash from my cell phone. Okay, hold on.
Look at the reflection. You see ring circles around your eyes and your glasses. You're staring. You're like this. You're
ring
posing.
Circles.
You were posing. You were posing. I was like, if that gets your smile back, fine. Whatever. Take your time. I'm done.
It's still not back. It's still not back.
It's back.
It's not.
I'm the Bulletcast champion now. Look at me.
Go.
I'm gonna take a photo right now.
That's not.
That's the official. That's the official right there.
That's not how this works. Look, man. I'm sorry. I lost my smile.
I hope you have it back now.
I don't. I still don't.
Why?
But
smile.
You were there when I lost my smile.
Champions are supposed to be happy.
Yeah, man. You got 2 belts now.
I still. Maybe I need a third one. I don't know.
Go ahead, buy another one. No one else will get to play with. It's at your apartment all the time.
Maybe I'll get a within the ropes championship.
And I mean,
maybe I'll buy an In The Kliq.
Oh,
that's fine, man. Go ahead.
He told us that we could have the other one, and he took it from us again.
I know. And he's making up new names now. Jeez, what is a rebranding?
When I'm champion, I actually defend it.
Dude, I'm gonna call it the Bulletcast 2.0 title now or something.
That's fine by me. Like when I'm champion, I actually defend the thing. I physically defend it. I wrestled for it the other day.
Didn't even give Brandon a chance to cash in his Bulletcast in the bank.
I told him to cash it in.
Dude, I listened and I messaged Brandon. I don't know if he told you guys. I messaged him. Good. Glad he called you out on that one episode a couple weeks ago, whatever, and said, what were your picks? You never said what your picks were, so we don't know if you were truthful on being the clear winner. I'm just saying.
Look, the Podchatek did what he did.
No, listen. A lot of wrestling podcasts out there do wrestling predictions for all the big shows. They all do it together at the same time, so it's well documented. Everyone knows what their picks are. Some even take it up a level and do like point systems and all that stuff. So,
okay, no, we can do that. Just after you guys watch me do commentary at Ugwageddon, and then we can do that from now on.
Full gears this weekend. I'm guessing you're not going to do picks then.
Well, you see,
it's the biggest show. It's one of they don't have many pay-per-views as everyone else, AEW. So,
wow.
Wow. Brian, we'll do our own. We'll get our own title.
We'll get our own title.
And we'll pose. We should take our own titles and pose.
I'll hold that one too.
Dude, we should get I wonder maybe West Coast can make titles with Phil's face on it.
Yeah.
That's what you and I, Brian, we'll be a tag team with Phil's face on it.
I mean,
you know what? We should make the first ever podcast tag team titles.
Yeah. That's what we do. Yeah.
I mean, Brandon and I will take those. It's cool.
Wow.
It's cool.
Nah, Brian, you and I, we're the Dudleys now.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that's fine. Brandon's my Janetti. He's my Janetti.
Wow.
It's good.
You say he's Janetti? Wow.
In any scenario, I'm Sean. Like, let's get. I don't know what you thought this was.
Okay, Brandon, if you're listening to this, you can be a trio with us.
Yeah, dude, we should.
We'll be the Super Kliq.
Yes. Which, by the way, I'm so happy they brought that name back, Super Kliq, because now, like, the term "click" is out there. I love it. I love it.
Brian, I thought we were the Bully Kliq. I mean,
so I'm just happy that Super Kliq. I need to get that T-shirt, that Super Kliq T-shirt. But it's great that the term "click" has been all over the place. You know, all the different wrestling websites reposting my interviews and stuff. That's awesome. So it's great. So anyway, I'm just happy that the term "click" is back out there. See,
I know in the Kliq, Bullet Kliq. It's great, isn't it? It's great.
It's a civil war going on right now. That's what this is. Jeez.
Within the Bullet Kliq is fine, guys.
Wow. We need to make like an all-star like shirt or something. Like, I don't know. Anyway, welcome back everyone to this episode of In The Kliq. I got off my chest now. my rant here. Oh man. But yeah, here we are back at it. We're going to talk, of course, all that happened this week in AEW. So much went down. But first things first, we got to talk about some WWE news that came down. Was it Thursday?
Yeah.
Was it Thursday evening or afternoon-ish? Late Thursday afternoon, evening. WWE announced a bunch of releases from their company. And this comes off the heels of their Q3, their third quarter earnings call. And they announced, during that call that a revenue over $255 million. Is that the right number? I was trying to look up and I saw one site that $255.8 million, their third quarter revenue. But so they're all happy how much money they made over this third quarter. And then within like an hour or two, they announced the release of 18 superstars from WWE and NXT, and of course everyone reacted to that. So I'll run down the list real quick. So we got Karrion Kross, Scarlett Bordeaux, B-Fab, Grand Metalik, Lindsay Dorado, Eva Marie, Keith Lee, Mia Yim, Nia Jax, Harry Smith, Oni Lorcan, Frankie Monet, Ember Moon, Trey Baxter, Jesse Kamei, G Rama, Zeta Ramir, and Katrina Cortez. Man. I'll turn to you guys. Phillip, I'll start with you. Just your initial thoughts on this round of cuts. And I mean, we could break it down some more, but just your initial takeaways when you found out about the announcement.
I mean, the Keith Lee one, as did everyone, you're just shocked, like, what? Like, I know, they do the, how could you mess this up? And I've always been kind of, against that kind of terminology, but I will say it here. Bro.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's Keith Lee. Look, I get they were trying to find a character for him with the whole Bearcat thing, but I know I've said in the past that everybody can just be a cool wrestler. He could have just been the cool big man wrestler. You could have just left everything the same, and I saw big things for him. And to be fair, a lot of maybe there was going to be a big push for him, but he had that illness at the beginning of the year, which kept him off TV for quite some time. So I feel like if that didn't happen, then he possibly would have. I think there were plans for him to win the United States Championship. Maybe he could have been in a better spot to where he wouldn't have been released.
Yeah, it's some of these names, some of the bigger names. It's like, oh my god, that sucks. For me, I was upset because. One, from the NXT side of things, like some of these names here, I don't know, maybe they thought, these people have been around for a while within their, their program, weren't really advancing or going anywhere or really improving. So maybe they thought, let's just cut our losses at this point. Like, why keep investing time and energy and money into these people? Some of them just got there. You're like, you didn't really do anything with them, and you're all of a sudden cutting them away. And then maybe some of them on the main roster, they just thought maybe they just didn't think they were getting over. It is very frustrating because for me, specifically with the Raw and SmackDown, like the main roster people here, guys like Karrion Kross, Keith Lee, these are guys who I think could be future main eventers. And for me, I'm excited for that possibility because it gives us fresh matchups with the roster from the mid card and the main event scene. Now that they're gone and who's still with the company, a lot of them are just the same people that we've been seeing for years. And that's the thing with pro wrestling is, you got to kind of rotate people in and out to keep things fresh. And I know they just had the draft. And, for example, on Raw, Big E has a lot of challengers now coming after him, as we saw with the ladder match a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So right there are 4 guys that could potentially be opponents for him that he can rotate through over the coming months with different programs. But nonetheless, those guys have all been on the roster with WWE for a long time. So we've seen them at various points already over the years. I would like to see down the road maybe Keith Lee versus Big E or Karrion Kross versus Big E. It's just fresh matchups that we have never seen before. So that's why when you release these people, didn't really give them a chance. I'm like, we're just going to see rematch after rematch with the same people from the current roster that have been there for a while. So that's what I was getting kind of frustrated with. I don't know, Brian, how about you? Any initial takeaways when you heard this release of 18 people?
Yeah. When I saw the list and I seen it go, it was like one by one. It's like another one. Okay, who's next? Right. And at first it frustrated me because I was like, well, why do they keep doing this? Budget cuts. Why do they keep doing this? Especially to a Keith Lee, someone who really didn't really get a chance to scratch the surface on the main roster, someone who was phenomenal on NXT. Karrion Kross, one of my favorites, who I was really pushing and hoping for, right? Another one, Mia Yim, who did not get to scratch the surface at all on the main roster, other than being involved in the Retribution stuff. B-Fab, that was surprising. She had just, just got signed to SmackDown with the other members of Hit Row, so that was sad to see. But then as I went down the rest of the line and got to thinking, I actually got into a conversation with someone on Twitter, and it made a little bit of sense. Most of the talent that got released, and again, I don't. It's sad as someone gets released, but when you think about it from a budget cut standpoint, you got to think a lot of these people were either just people who really just didn't need to be there, like Davey Boy Smith. He really didn't need to be there. Yeah. Eva Marie, another name who really just didn't really work. I'm sorry, Phillip.
That's the Bay Area zone. Hey, come on, man.
Someone who has contributed really nothing since coming back. So I think she's taken up a space. But then you look at Ember Moon, who's injury prone, who's been injured quite a bit.
Yeah.
Right. Oni Lorcan, another one who's been injured quite a bit throughout his time in WWE. Lince Dorado and Grand Metalik,
they've been requesting their release for a while now.
They've been requesting their release, and you have to look at them and just think in WWE, what can we really do with these guys? Yeah, probably nothing. You know, and then I don't know. Scarlett was a surprise because I was like, oh man, they're gonna call her up soon. She's gonna be alongside Cross any moment now.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I think when you look at someone like Shotzi, and then you look at Scarlett, it's just like, how many more women can we fit on these brands that either sound alike? And I know this sounds weird, but like sound alike, look alike, or whatever. Like, you don't want to keep changing these women to fit things that aren't going to seem natural, right? So obviously, I mean, I was watching Shotzi on SmackDown this past Friday, and I was like, Yeah, Scarlett probably wouldn't have worked on SmackDown, but then you would have had her on Raw with Karrion Kross. But then she doesn't really seem like she would fit in from a star power standpoint because you have Becky, you have Bianca, you have all these other pieces. The Liv Morgans who you want to. Liv Morgan's on Raw.
Yes. Yeah.
Who you want to, who you have coming up next, right? And so it's just weird. It's a sad situation, but and then I don't know, Jeet
Rama.
Yeah, Jeet Rama.
He's been with them for like 6 years, and I think so. I think 2015, and he had just finally like one of his first televised matches this past week on NXT. And it was like a squash match, right? That he lost.
Trey Baxter surprised me. I thought they were going somewhere with Trey and
I
Cora
thought so
Jade.
Too. Yeah, because Trey did pretty well in the breakout tournament, and I thought, okay, maybe this is someone they're gonna put some, invest some time in. But then again, you look at the new like kind of vision for NXT. They want like the younger guys, and he is young, but they want the guys over 6 foot, 6'2", 225 or big or whatever the requirements that they're looking for. And those parts, he doesn't really fit that mold. So I can see that's.
It just sucks because lately I've been watching 205 Live. Well, I've always watched 205 Live, but as of late, you see a lot of, fresh. I mean, you see Roderick Strong on there. He's been there, in the last 3 weeks. You see Odyssey Jones, the bigger guys. You see Trey Baxter. You see a lot more women on there now. So it's like a mixture of everything. And I just feel like there's so much missed opportunity when you keep letting these guys and girls go from the roster, and you have a main event. Like you could have put more eyes on main event. If you don't have any space for them on Raw, SmackDown, or NXT, you could have easily used them in many different ways. So
yeah, it makes you wonder because remember there was the rumor that NXT bought Evolve or got the rights to Evolve, whatever, and then they were going to make an NXT to their NXT, like a developmental show for people before they move on up to NXT. And it was going to be called like NXT Evolve or something like that. I don't think that's going to happen now, but it would have been cool to see, places for these new signees to go get TV time and practice and work. And it kind of sounds like that's what 205 Live is now kind of becoming into, like maybe some people on the upcoming talent, a place to work on TV. But yeah, it makes you wonder, they could have done that, main event, use that. I mean, 205 Live, it sounds like they just need to rename it because it's not like a cruiserweight show anymore, right?
205 Live is the new Metal or Jacked.
Yeah.
Velocity.
But the timing sucks. And I understand why people are frustrated because, in the afternoon, they have their earnings call and are celebrating how much money they made, especially at the Saudi show, a couple weeks ago. And they're doing better because they're back on the road, merch, sales, all that stuff. And then a couple hours later, they let go a bunch of people. And it's trippy, man, because this is their third big set releases this year. So like every quarter, every 3 months, they're releasing people. So is this kind of more the norm now? That every 3 months we're going to expect a round of cuts. And so that's kind of terrifying to think about if you're an employee there, because think about it, like, for years they were just kind of hoarding as much talent as they can get. And now they're just cutting people, trying to free up the books. I'm guessing, they make their consistent money every quarter. And so now it's like, okay, our money, we're making about the same amount of money every 3 months, but how do we create more revenue? Well, let's release some of this talent and then their salaries come off the books and then it's more money for the company overall. I mean, it's very, you get really caught up in all the business side of things, and they're restructuring like, the corporate jobs and stuff. So this company's in a shuffle, and I've seen it from my industry, what I work in. I've seen corporate shakeups and restructuring stuff. So to me, when I see what WWE's doing, I'm used to it in my own sense with my work and stuff. So it's not really shocking to me. I know a lot of people are like, oh, what the hell's going on there? It's like, that's just corporate world for you. That's just normal. Yeah. So it's nothing shocking to me, see what they're restructuring and stuff. People change positions or they let go someone and someone else absorbs that job and gets another title with it. So I'm used to all that stuff. It's not shocking to me, but it's the main, reason they said for the cuts was budget cuts. That was what Laurinaitis was telling people and stuff. But there are reports that some people were being let go because they were unvaccinated. There's been reports that maybe 4 to 6 people roughly on this list of 18 were let go because they were unvaccinated. Now, I mean, Nia Jax was reported in the New York Post article about this, that she was let go because she was unvaccinated. However, she went ahead to Instagram and did a post explaining herself what happened here. So,
she was taking a mental health break, and she was set to return to, I think, the November 15th show.
Yeah,
and she asked for a little bit more time, and
her vaccine status was never brought into question. Actually, here I have it right here. I can read it off real quick. So this is from Nia Jax's Instagram. This message she posted said, "I usually keep my personal life private, but yesterday's reports leave me with no option but to clarify matters. I recently took a short leave of absence from WWE for a mental health break. I've been working through so much more than I can share, and so I took some time with the full support of the company to take care of myself. Earlier this week, after WWE sent me my schedule to return to the ring for the November 15th show, I asked for an extension to my mental health break. Feeling that I needed more time and hoping I would have the ongoing support of the company, I've given my all for the past 7 years. I did not receive a response. The next I heard, I was being released. My vaccination status was never mentioned. I wasn't given any choices or options. It breaks my heart to be so abruptly let go without consultation when dealing with so much privately. I love my career at WWE. I love the men and women I worked with, and I'm going to need time to process this huge loss. I appreciate those people who have shown understanding and compassion during an incredibly difficult time." So, listen, Nia Jax, it must suck when you're, dealing with some mental health stuff and then you get released from your job. Like, I definitely wish Nia the best and hope she gets better, what she's going through in her personal life. And obviously the timing of being let go sucks as well. Okay, now with the superstars who were let go because they're unvaccinated, I mean, we don't need to expect to guess or anything like that, just because that's their own personal decision. But I don't know, Phillip, what are your thoughts on some people being let go because they're just unvaccinated?
I mean, that's basically what this thing is coming down to. I know in Alameda County, for schools, kids have to be vaccinated by, I think, the 2nd of December, and if not, you can't show up there. So it's basically one of those situations. If you're not vaccinated, you can't show up to work. You want to get back to work, but you know what you have to do. You don't want to do it, all right, then we're going to future endeavor you. This isn't just WWE. This is happening in other corporate worlds as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, my company that owns our radio station, they've been very public that everyone is required to be vaccinated to come back to work. So that's just one example. But yeah, there's a lot of jobs having mandates and stuff. And that's the thing you got to think about for WWE as far as, requiring people to be vaccinated. You got to think about WWE. You can't tour overseas without being vaccinated. So, or, state by state have different rules and regulations. So if you're not vaccinated and you're not allowed to go into a certain arena in whatever state they're in because of the rules, listen, I get it. It's your choice if you want to be vaccinated or not. But then you have, based on your decision, there are repercussions for that. So does that make sense? It's like, okay, if you want to be unvaccinated, that's fine. That's your own choice. But you have, there are repercussions to your decision. Case being, some states won't allow you to work there, and therefore you become a little bit of an issue for WWE. It's like, well, what are we paying you for then? You can't work for us then. So that's why I think partly why they got to release you. It's like, okay, if you're not going to work, if you can't work for us, we can't keep you around. So that's, you know what I mean, Brian? Does that make sense? That's kind of like, give or take of this situation. It's like, okay, if you're not going to be vaccinated, then you can't work for us because we can't use you then. So
yeah, and I think people have been given a great deal of time to know that and understand that, and again, like you said, it's a personal thing. If it's up to, whoever it is, if they want to or not, but what's to come if you don't, and And so it's kind of sad. For me, it's sad to know that there was, however many people that had to be let go for that, because it's just like, wow, like I can't imagine traveling and being around so many people and going to entertain so many people, going in all these different venues and not wanting to protect myself to the best that I could, things like that. So it's kind of crazy. And it's also sad too to see someone lose their job. It's really sad. You know what I mean? Overall, but
yeah, no,
it is.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is like, I feel bad for people who lost their jobs, but at the same time, yeah, if you refuse to get vaccinated, like, I that's on you. Like, we can't sympathize, for you losing your job in that situation, because you're not taking that step to protect yourself and your coworkers and the fans and whatnot. I mean, look, case in point, Golden State Warriors, Andrew Wiggins, he refused to get vaccinated at first, and then it became an issue because it's like, well, you can't play in San Francisco because there is the vaccine rule. So it was like, dude, you can't play for the Warriors. What, you can only play road games in states that allow you to play unvaccinated? That became an issue. And then it was like,
same thing with Kyrie in Brooklyn. Yeah,
so it's like, for Andrew Wiggins, I think it's like, crap, he's going to lose a lot of money not playing a certain amount of games. So he got vaccinated. And so same thing. I mean, and there's some superstars, some reports are like, there's some superstars with bigger value who might not be vaccinated, but see, they have the pool to make that decision as well. So it's a really interesting situation. Some people being cut for budget reasons, some being cut if they're unvaccinated, whatever the case may be or situation. It's a really interesting time right now. The other thing was there were reports of like Karrion Kross. Supposedly Vince McMahon was kind of losing interest on him, or he felt he wasn't getting pushed he wasn't getting over with the WWE universe, and he was in talks of being repackaged once again. Phillip, what are your thoughts on this? Because for me, this is interesting because it's like the chicken or the egg. Like, what came first? With Karrion Kross in this situation, it's who's to blame here when someone is not getting over? Is it the superstar's fault for not getting over, or is it the booker's fault for bad creative?
This is great. Shout out to Sir Wilkins from the Jobber Tears podcast. He said this very same thing. If you come from NXT and go to the main roster and you can't get over, it's kind of your own fault.
Okay.
So, Adam Cole said it best in that segment. This place did everything they could to make you feel special. Your hot wife, the cool little entrance. His wife went away. The entrance went away.
What's left?
Huh?
For Adam Cole, how they make me special? They ring the damn bell. I was like, whoa, shots fired.
But then he left the company. So anyway. Yeah. Anyway, yes. So, I mean, you look at Karrion Kross, like, his cool entrance was gone. His wife wasn't by his side anymore. What really did he have left? Let's be honest. Because when he was in Impact, like Killer Kross, there was something intense about him. He had something about him, when he was on the Indies, and that kind of got lost. And it's unfortunate. We don't know what the repackage would have been. I mean, this could be said for a lot of like NXT call-ups, and that's a whole other conversation. Yeah,
well, it's frustrating, Brian, here, because like Karrion Kross, like, dude, he was the hot free agent at the beginning of 2020. It's like, where's he going to go? AEW? Is he going to go to WWE? He was making appearances at MLW and indie shows and whatnot, and it was like his last set of indie dates before he was going to sign. WWE signed him, NXT got him. I was like, okay, cool. Debuts, amazing entrance. I mean, just his look alone. He's 6'4", he's big. What Vince McMahon looks for in a guy. He had the amazing entrance. He had the hot girl as a manager, valet in Scarlett Bordeaux. It was like, oh my God, this is the total package that you need for the main roster. It seemed like a recipe for success. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't believe this. It's like, I think a lot of people thought, oh, his time in NXT is going to be really short, because as long as he gets over with the NXT universe, performs well, he'll be hot shot to Raw or SmackDown right away and be part of WrestleMania in the not near future. Instead, it all falls apart. And, I cannot believe they did not let him just do his thing on Raw or SmackDown, or I guess Raw since he got called up there. Maintain that same entrance. Have Scarlett with her. I thought Scarlett was going to be like the next Sable for the company, and Karrion Kross have that cool entrance. And, the crowd would have loved it on a larger scale. Imagine him if he would have done that at WrestleMania, how epic that would have been. Now, regardless of how you feel about his in-ring work, we know in sports entertainment, what you might lack in one thing, you can make for in other ways. So that's why I just seem like Karrion Kross, he should be like a gold mine, for the company. So it just sucks. Like in this situation, do you think Karrion Kross didn't get over on Raw because of bad booking, or was it his own fault? Like, where do you kind of draw the blame in a situation when someone's not getting over?
Well, I think with Karrion Kross specifically, I think that they had a whoopsie in the beginning by having him lose his first match, but then they started to correct it. I think people were too focused on the fact that he didn't have Scarlett and his entrance, and I know those are two huge parts of him, especially in NXT when he debuted with that entrance. I mean, that was everything. I mean, everyone was talking. Everyone was talking about it. So I think that has somewhat of something to do with it. But to me, he was still Karrion Kross. He was still dominant. He was still that force. To Phil, to your point, I felt like he still had the intensity. I think people were wrapped up in the entrance, wrapped up in no Scarlett. And then when they added the helmet, I think they were upset that he had the helmet. But see, here's I want to say something real quick. People criticize WWE for not being a wrestling company or not putting on wrestling matches or whatever, right? Like wrestling matches that they like. But when you complain about something so little like an entrance or entrance gear that have nothing to do with the actual wrestling in the ring, right? And you say, you know what? They ruined this person. Well, how could they have ruined this person? He's still the same guy in the ring. He's squashing people. He's beating them up, beating the hell out of them every week. And, this is building to something. The vignettes towards, the end was great. I thought whatever they were doing to repackage him when he was talking in the boiler room, it looked like in a suit.
The Sean O'Hare inspired promo.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Those were great. And so I felt like instead of wondering, instead of being like, wow, okay, I can't wait till he have a match with this person, because I didn't hear that. I didn't hear I can't wait for Karrion Kross to go up against Big E. Like you said at the beginning of this. I can't wait for Karrion Kross to go up against Kofi. I can't wait for Karrion Kross to go up against Drew McIntyre.
Damian Priest. I mean, that's the thing. I was so excited, like when Karrion Kross and Keith Lee were called up. I was like, these guys can get adjusted to the main roster, in the mid card scene, and work their way up over the next year to the main event status. I mean, Keith Lee, he beat Randy Orton on his first night on Raw or within that first couple weeks. I was like, oh my God, they're pushing him. That is awesome. And that's cool if Randy Orton gave the okay to go over for him. I mean, I think this is awesome. They believe in him. And then I know, unfortunately, he got sick with COVID and had some other health related issues. So he was gone for what was it? Over 6 months, 7 months. Yeah. And I'm glad he's much better now, feeling better now. And I was like, okay, he's back. But ever since he came back, they just never seen what to do with him. They just, when he debuted originally, like they changed his music. And I know there was music rights with the people who made the theme song and the royalties and all that stuff. So they gave him like a generic, entrance song. And then they tried to do an updated song for him. And just, of course, it wasn't the same as to the one we heard on NXT. But then, he changed his ring gear a little bit with the baggy shorts and just kind of trying out different things. It looked like they were just throwing things at the wall and see what was going to stick. Yeah. And that gets frustrating.
You know what I realized, Brian? When we were at that SmackDown, we saw one of his last WWE matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy if you think about it.
And then the one in Sacramento. It's funny. Levi Shapiro was one of his last opponents.
I know that is
and he had just gotten a brand new music again.
Bearcat
with the ram.
Yeah,
and him in the ring.
and to real quick, just to go off of what I was saying again, I feel like people aren't giving guys like Keith Lee, and I'm not saying this has anything to do with their release, but think about it. Kenny Omega, who's the AEW World Champ, he doesn't have a drastic, amazing, crazy entrance. I don't know if I mentioned on the Bullet Cast that I feel like Kenny Omega's entrance is different every week. Like he's doing.
I mean, to be fair, he had that goofy entrance when the ladies were sweeping or whatever.
Yeah. Well, okay. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
But now was that for? But now he's coming out by himself. He's with Don Callis. He's with Nakazawa.
Yeah. Where's Don Callis been, by the way?
The Impact AEW partnership's over.
But he's no longer works for Impact. Like his contract expired. So
did it?
Yeah, his EVP status, whatever that was.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, not to go on the sidetrack, but yeah.
But I want to throw this out there because, Brian, you were there. They popped for Keith Lee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm saying. So with him, it kind of didn't matter what they did with him. People were gonna love him because he's Keith Lee. He's this big dude who can do these unbelievable feats of athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a guy like Karrion Kross, where I didn't get to see him live, so I don't know what the reaction would have been. But from what you would read on like Twitter and stuff, people kind of weren't reacting to him.
Mm-hmm. Do you see the reports? So we talked about Nia Jax. She spoke about her release, and Karrion Kross, Keith Lee both kind of responded. I guess someone tweeted to Karrion Kross, like, can he have his helmet? And he said, no one wants that piece of ass. And then Keith Lee, someone asked on Instagram, like, was it his idea for the Bearcat gimmick? And he said, no, it was not my idea. LOL. So it just shows that both these guys, their current gimmicks were not their ideas. So that's where I feel. And then there was it. Was it Wade Keller? Phillip, is Wade Keller the one Brandon likes? So Wade Keller, Brian, you know what I'm talking about. Like recently, he did a report that Keith Lee was reportedly difficult to work with backstage recently, and didn't want to put people over and job out.
Yep.
Now, for me, when I hear that, it's like, okay, who's the source that's saying that? Because that very much sounds like they're just bad mouthing Keith Lee.
Yeah.
For Keith Lee, there's three sides to every story. One person's side, the other person's side of the story, and then somewhere in the middle of the truth. When I heard that report, I'm sure Keith Lee, I would love one day if he does a shoot interview to explain that, or his side of the story, that report. I'm sure for him, he just probably was speaking his mind of just the bad creative. And so for him to speak his mind, probably was like, guys, like, I don't think this is working. I don't like that idea or whatever. So him just shooting down those ideas presented to him, those people interpret that, oh, he's being difficult to work with. And then that's what's being used to leak out to the dirt sheets. Does that make sense? What I'm coming from here? Yep. So when I heard Wade Keller saying, reports are saying that Keith Lee's difficult backstage, I just think he's probably just objecting to the bad creative that's presented to him. Like, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. And then you hear these guys explain like the current gimmicks that they were given to them. So that's what's, I get frustrated is these guys, we love them and we want to see them succeed, but it's tough to get over when bad creative is being pushed onto them and they just can't do what made them special in the first place.
You think Dustin Rhodes wanted to be Gold Dust? Like, come on, bro. But he made it work.
True, that is true, and that is the other side of this argument. Is like there are some guys who take what's given to them and make it work.
I think this
lightning in a bottle, I guess.
I think you saw what they did to Dusty, right? They put him in the polka dots, but it didn't matter what they did with the Dusty. He was Dusty. People loved him.
Yeah,
I think that's Keith Lee and Karrion Kross. He could have been a Gold Dust situation to where, despite you may not have liked what is being presented, but you make it work and you become a success. Yeah. He could have been that, but it did not happen.
Yeah.
Karrion Kross should have been Psycho Sid.
Well, Psycho Sid was terrible, so why would you do that?
I love Sid. I love Sid back in the day. No, but I mean, I know we're running a little bit long talking about this, but this is such a, who's the man?
Who's the man?
My dad loves Sid. I got a Sid action figure.
We're live, pal.
I know, we're live. Hey, that's where they came from. You got to thank him for all that. And I know we're running long on this part of the conversation, but I feel like these releases over the last few days has really came up a lot of questions and discussion points. And I know, when these releases, we all were talking about maybe recording right away on Thursday night. But then I said, well, let's hold up and let this play out, because then over the next couple of days, a lot more info's come out, which even led to more discussion points to get into, which I'm glad we held off on when we did. But and there's also a lot of people talking about WWE for the women's division that want to focus on more younger talent. And so there have been some of the women speaking up and says it's not fair. So it's really interesting where WWE's creative is going from a restructuring point as well. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. It's, I'm assuming Karrion Kross will find work right away. Scarlett Bordeaux's already been tweeting out that she's getting a lot of offers for a clothing line and other projects being thrown her way. So she'll do fine.
She wants her bra and panties hardcore match.
I know. I saw that too. I was like, is that real? What, a GCW or something?
Yeah.
But, Grand Metalik, Lindsay Dorado, they've been wanting to release for a while. Even Marie, I'm guessing she'll go back to what she was doing before with her workout clothing line and movie roles and stuff.
No, she has to tour the indies.
Dude, that would be pretty awesome. I mean, that's
bro. Those same people that, she still has a job. Those people would line up to meet her at a show. Like, come on. Hey, did you see Lindsay Dorado was trying to fight Izzy's dad?
Yeah.
He showed up to the spot and everything. Did y'all see that?
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
I was like,
I have thoughts about that.
I think Lindsay's frustrated.
Yeah,
he's still,
that was hella.
Even though he wanted his release and he got it, I think still just the frustrations of everything. And
well, for me, I'm also upset. Like, I wish Mia Yim was used more. She's a great, talented performer who could. And that's the thing with the women's division, or any men's or women's. Like, you need people on the roster that can go out there and be a good opponent for the stars that you're pushing, like credible opponents. And Mia Yim, okay, maybe you don't want to push her as a champion or something, but she could have gone out there and been a credible threat or opponent for like a Sasha Banks or Becky, whoever. Just, a quick matches here or there on Raw or SmackDown. I mean, she got to mix up. She got to a match on TakeOver one time, and she
Shayna,
yeah. So she was getting a little push in NXT, and she can run with the storyline and be pushed properly. Harry Smith, dude, that guy wrestled one dark match before SmackDown and never did anything. I don't know, did they sign him as a favor because his dad got in the Hall of Fame this past year? I mean, I was like, what's going on? Like, I thought they should have put him on NXT UK. I think he would have done great there. I think he could have been a legit opponent against Walter. I mean, Harry Smith has improved so much post his first time leaving WWE. I think he could have been used as a great, just veteran opponent. Frankie Monet, aka Taya Valkyrie, she'll got there. Yeah,
she'll be fine.
Yeah, she'll bounce back. I mean, she maybe goes back to Impact or go to AEW. I don't know. Ember Moon, AEW, I think should get her right away. Just another credible opponent for the for the women's division AEW. But I guess let me ask you this, because not everyone can go to AEW. No. And are you a little concerned that the market is flooded now with too much talent, free agents out there?
So look, for AEW, they swipe up a couple of these women for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Mm-hmm. Now, where does Nia Jax go? That's the one that really intrigues me. What company could best? I've said that people should go to Ring of Honor, but given what's happening with them, RIP.
And that's what sucks about this timing is Ring of Honor is gone for the time being. So that's like one less company for them to go work at.
I could see Keith Lee versus Hammerstone for the MLW title. I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see Hammerstone versus Cross. Nia Jax. I mean, I could see her in Impact, bro. I could.
I would love Keith Lee to go to AEW and his debut. The first time we see him on screen is just coming out of nowhere and hitting Adam Cole into the crowd again, like he did NXT. How awesome would that be from a continuity standpoint?
A nice little callback. I'm sure the homie Alfred, Pro Wrestling Bits, would have a field day with that one.
I totally, I should text Alfred and see if he wants to come on and talk.
Bro, please. I want to talk to that.
He is awesome. Dude, when I had lunch with him in Vegas, he was so awesome to hang out with. So awesome. But Adam Cole, if Keith Lee with AEW, how much fun they can have on being the Elite. Like, imagine Adam Cole going up to Keith Lee and be like, hey man, I could be your manager or something. Or, joking around, or John Silver saying like, hey, you should manage this guy or something. How much fun they can joke around with that whole thing. I hope Impact Wrestling benefits getting a lot of these talents. I hope GCW, MLW, NWA, who else I'm missing? New Japan. I mean, I hope all these companies can get them. And even the indie scene, like, remember, Phillip, we talked about this, like the indie scene in 2017, 2018 was popping with so much talent. And then it kind of died down a little bit because everyone getting signed. Now all these free agents are out there again. So hopefully the indie scene can rise and book all these people, which then why we should, as fans, make sure you go to your local independent wrestling show, support, buy a ticket, do the meet and greets, buy their merch, all that to support these people. Look at West Coast Pro Wrestling. They already got Bandino and Alex Shelley coming in December now. Like,
EC will be here on Friday.
I mean, West Coast Pro Wrestling's gonna have a banger show this coming Friday, piggybacking with the New Japan show on Saturday the 13th. They have a show Friday the 12th. So it's an amazing time for the independent wrestling scene and for us to be up closer and interact with these people. But like I said, that's my only concern with all these releases is the talent pool going to be so flooded now. Is there going to be enough jobs for everyone to make up for this, for their release from WWE?
Right.
I would hope there will be, and I have to do this for BFAB. I loved Hit Row. I saw the new entrance. It is not the same.
I kind of like it.
Stop yourself.
I kind of like it.
Oh,
I like Sami Zayn dancing to it.
Yes.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, but you know what, Brian? You know what I have to do.
Big Mad.
You know what I have to do.
Hit row, hit row,
hit row.
Oh my God. So I don't know. In closing, is there anything else we need to talk about with this releases? I mean, I think we covered a lot as far as our thoughts of them leaving, just, what the reason behind all this was, the timing, where they can go, booking decisions. I mean, there was a lot to unpack with all these WWE releases. That's why I definitely want to spend some time just talking about it, because it really just kind of puts in question the direction of WWE and where they're at right now as a company and what's working, what's not working. So, I know, and it just shows how much talent WWE has, because Raw and SmackDown still has a lot of people, but I'm just worried the people that we see there are going to get burnt out. We're going to see them just rematch after rematch when they can have more fresh up matchups. So that's where I'm coming from.
Kyle O'Reilly set to become a free agent next month.
Okay. Thank you for bringing that up. So Kyle O'Reilly is, his contract's going to be up end of November or December?
December.
Okay, so him, Johnny Gargano is supposed to be first week in December. Yeah. Sami Zayn's end of December. Kevin Owens is end of January 2022.
Yeah.
That's 4 big names right there.
Yeah.
I'm putting it out there already. Undisputed Era AEW's version versus the Elite.
Bro, what are they going to be? The Era?
Unanimous Era.
Johnny Gargano just went up against who did he fight in a dark match?
Oh, against Kyle O'Reilly.
Kyle O'Reilly.
It was a dark match, yeah.
So what do you guys think that is? Do you think that's like a let's see who we're gonna keep, pal?
Who we're gonna give the raise to? Who we're gonna sign? I already know Kyle O'Reilly's probably gone.
Yeah.
Dude, reform Red Dragon in AEW and maybe the Elite.
If they won those tag titles, I'd be hella happy.
Dude, because think about it. This is what I was going to ask you guys. We all love NXT. We love that roster. That roster, has moved on, either called up or been released. Now, AEW, while the first couple years of existence, they really benefit, trying to develop their own homegrown talent. Now they're mixing it in with all the hot free agent signings that they've, got over the last year. Now, what I'm kind of getting excited is AEW is kind of benefiting from signing the top names from NXT, from their competition. And while those guys probably would not have done well in Raw or SmackDown from a booking standpoint, we're now getting the benefit of them crossing over to AEW. If that makes sense, what I'm trying to say, as far as AEW is now benefiting from having that competition of NXT, that these guys are now coming over and you get the best of both worlds. You get the AEW talent and then the guys and gals that we loved in NXT who are now coming over there. So you get this all-star show in many ways, what Dynamite and Rampage is now evolving into. It's like the people in AEW that I've been a fan of since day one, and now the people from NXT that I love who are now jumping ship over there. It's like now these fresh, crazy, fun matchups are going to be playing out, hopefully. Yeah. And like the Undisputed Era, which was the hottest faction in NXT, one by one are now coming over to AEW. And now my mind is like, oh my God, I didn't think this could happen, but we can maybe have the Elite versus Undisputed Era at some point. I don't know, like, Phillip, what are your thoughts on, the best of NXT is coming over to AEW kind of, so their competition is now coming over to fill their roster and kind of help elevate them to a larger platform or success.
It's a contradictory, slippery slope. Because on one hand, they said we're going to focus on grooming our own talent, and then they sign a whole bunch of guys that leave WWE, and then they become all ex WWE, and that whole gimmick and whatnot. Yeah. And so I guess the way I want to put this, I mean, I've said it. They don't need any more talent. Like, they don't need any more men's talent. Now, acquire some more women, like the ones that have been released. Yeah, look into getting them. But I guess if you're going to keep signing these former WWE guys, as long as your talent who have been with you since day one-ish have, like, the big moments, like, we know Hangman's going over Kenny Omega. Like, all right, boom, that's a guy that's been with them since day one.
Brian, write that down. That's his pick. Write it down. It's documented. Yeah. That's one pick.
My picks for Bound for Glory were documented. You guys didn't hear? It's on the.
Keep going.
No. So yeah. And then, like, I guess, like, whoever dethrones Sammy Guevara should be a day one talent. You know what I mean? And then eventually make it organic to where these guys who have come in from the outside take championships and stuff like that. I mean, FTR, they came in from the outside, but it worked for that time period given the pandemic and everything. And it just kind of felt right for them to win the titles at that point in time. So unless you have a scenario like that, then, just kind of like groom them. But you don't want to take too long, because then you get to like, well, Andrade's been here for like 5 months. He hasn't really done much.
I know stuff like 5 matches. That's all he's done. 5 matches. With Cody, his record was on the screen 2-2. I was like, he's only had 4 matches up until this point. He's been there
since like June. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I'm like, that's kind of weird. But Brian, let me ask you, like, for me, I'm happy because it's like what once was their competition are now coming over and helping their former competition. So I'm kind of happy to see the guys who I was a fan of on NXT, who I was concerned that would not do well on Raw or SmackDown, or at least going over to AEW. And now you get the best of both worlds. You get the best from AEW and the best of NXT from a couple years ago. So as a fan, is that kind of exciting that like that this is playing out? Because I'm like, I mean, we could get Roderick Strong over there, maybe Kevin Owens. I mean, this is it's exciting still.
It is, and boy, have we seen this before. And the only thing I got to say is, who's gonna be the Stone Cold to the Tribal Chief's Rock, and who's gonna be Stone Cold to Big E's Rock?
Wow.
Who's it gonna be? Who's gonna take WWE to that next level? Because I think they're gonna be forced, or maybe they're forcing themselves. Who knows? I think it's gonna come to a point where because right now I feel like it's kind of like a seesaw, right?
Yeah.
Both shows kind of like ratings go up, ratings go down, ratings go up, ratings go down. And now I think fans are just like, nah, we don't really care about the ratings. We like AEW. Or, you don't really see too many people saying that about WWE, but I think it'll get to a point where they'll have to go, all right, we got to be serious now. We got to really start writing some intriguing stories that people want to follow week to week that actually pay off on the pay-per-views. And we'll see how well Tony and AEW can respond. It's a fun time. I'm just thinking an answer to your question: who could be the Stone Cold of this era to help WWE counter the competition that's like red hot and getting all the attention right now? I don't know. I don't know if it's someone on NXT right now. Is it Braun Breaker? Is
Maybe
it
Ciampa? I mean,
Ciampa already says that he don't like that
torn schedule. Yeah. I don't know. Like, is it someone that's currently with the company or someone that they still got to groom and bring up there somehow? Because you look at the current roster, everyone that's on Raw or SmackDown, it's the same people that we've been watching for years. They just reshuffle some people to this side, some people on this side with the draft. It's not really a draft. It's really just a shuffling. It's like no one's getting called up. A draft is like you get called up to the pros. It's just a shuffle. It's like literally, okay, we'll take half these people here. They've been over here for a while. Let's move them over here. And then this half goes over there. And then therefore who's left over will have fresh matchups with this new half. So that's the thing. It's like, it's the same people. And that's what I was talking about earlier. It's like, Big E, the 4 guys that are now going after him for that title, they've been on the main roster for years. So it's not like new, like, oh my God, I've never seen this. I know this week on Raw, Big E's like, Big E, Kevin Owens for the first time ever on Raw. I was like, okay, but they've been around. Their veterans have been around forever. So I don't know who is that.
And everybody, and the 4 that came over all have losing streaks. Coming over to Raw. So
I don't know who is it. Who can be that person?
It's Finn Balor, bro. It's Finn Balor.
It? Like, are you hypothetically? Is Finn Balor someone that you're gonna cheer for like you would for Shawn Michaels when you were younger? I mean, I know you're older now. You're in a different part. Your life. You're in a different place now and all that. But like mentally, is Finn Balor someone that could lead the company how Shawn Michaels led the company?
I mean, let's truly give him the ball, because remember, he was Universal Champion, but he got injured.
Yeah.
This is why I wanted him to win King of the Ring. Nothing to Xavier, but I thought we could have told the story of how the Prince becomes the King, and then the King wants the Chief. I thought maybe we could have done something like that.
Yeah.
Because everybody loves Finn Balor. I mean, you see the merch out there.
Royalty versus royalty.
Yeah, people are dropping like the $150, however much those leather jackets cost to wear them. You know what I'm saying? So, like, give him the ball.
That's a great question, though, Brian. Like, I don't know, we need to make a graphic or something. Like, maybe like a silhouette of Stone Cold and like a question mark over it and be like, who is the next Stone Cold for this era? And not necessarily has to be someone that's a beer drinker and cusses and all that. It's just someone that could be the face of the company and take them to new heights.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know. Something to think about for the Kliqsters out there. Please email us inthekliq@gmail.com. And I know we've been going on and on. Hey, like I said, this is something I've been really wanting to talk with you guys. Like, literally, Thursday night, after I said let's hold off on talking about the releases, I couldn't sleep because like in my head I was trying to play out all the different questions and topics we can get into, because there's so much to break down with this set of releases and what it symbolizes for the company and the pro wrestling landscape. So anyway, I'm glad we had this discussion. It was really good. Also, just want to touch on Jon Moxley. It was announced earlier this week. Tony Khan tweeted out that Jon Moxley is entering an inpatient alcohol treatment program. And so the love and support everyone's been showing him. But Brian, your thoughts on, Jon Moxley going to rehab?
Yeah, good for Jon. I'm on the record of saying that it's clear that I don't know if it was his gimmick, the lunatic fringe, or, the whatever gimmick he was playing. It seemed to me that he had some type of issue. I can tell a difference in his look from when he first debuted in AEW to now. And I know he's gone through a lot and the pandemic, and, he has a baby now and everything like that. So dad life dad bod, all that sorts of things.
Yeah.
But he just looked and just felt very off. Even in the ring, I think his work has fallen off. He's not as quick anymore. And yeah, so it shocked me because it came out of nowhere. You know, he was in the Eliminator tournament. So I was like, oh, okay. But who cares about the tournament? I'm glad that he's taking that step and taking initiative and, you know, getting some help. So good for him and good for everybody, you know, that supports him and, you know, hope the best for him and Renee.
Because even his appearance on one of the episodes of Rhodes to the Top, he was talking to Brandy and he just said, oh, I'm hungover. Like that, that's the whole scene. It's just Brandy walked up to him and like, how's everything going? He's like, I'm hungover. And like, it was just about drinking.
Yeah. And at first I was like, well, okay, that's his thing, you know, but then it made me, I started thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know if that's a gimmick. I think that's for real. I think that's really John right now, you know?
And listen, we know, you know, it's a hard lifestyle being a pro wrestler, just the bumps you take and then the travel and then the, you know, the media commitments you got to do and the stuff you got to do, the fans meet and greet. Like you're being asked to do a lot for a company, being pulled in a million different directions. And, you know, and then at the same time, maintain a home personal life, you know, a marriage, being a brand new dad. It's a lot to process. And so, with that being said, it's good to maybe like take a break and, you know, get some help if you can't, you know, so a lot of people when they deal with a lot of pressure, you know, drink and do whatever they feel like they need to calm down, take a break mentally, whatever. And so maybe for him, he's like, listen, there's a lot that I'm dealing with right now. I don't want to go down that path again to cope with it. So I'm really happy to see that he's going to get some help and respect him.
And I'm sure even the pressures of being the top, if not one of the top faces in this company, in AEW,
a new company,
you know?
The pressure for this new company to make them succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that was a whole lot to deal with, especially in the time that he was champion, you know, throughout the pandemic. So
yeah, Phillip, anything from you for anything else about Moxley you want to add? Or
I mean, Brian really said it all. You know, just get well soon, Mox. We hope you battle these demons and that you make a full recovery.
Yeah, and the thing too, also with him is you know, respect him to admit that he has an issue and he wants to get help. That's the toughest part, is just admitting you have a problem and going to get help. And then I respect that he went public with this because he could have easily kept private, but then people would have questioned, where is he? Why is he not on TV? All of a sudden he's not here at the tournament, the Eliminator tournament for the world titles. Like, why is he suddenly gone? All these questions would start coming up. And so I'm glad they kind of just addressed it right out of the gates and explained what's going on. And the big thing, you know, with AEW, they're like, let John kind of be a role model in that sense, as far as an example of like admitting you need help. And if you need help, don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, so if anything, trying to spread a positive message of like, hey, if you're going through something, get help. It's okay to admit you need help and ask someone. So that I was really the respect for all that AEW, how they handled that. So, all right, let's jump into this week's episode of AEW Dynamite and Rampage. Here we are. It's the second to last episode of Dynamite before Full Gear. A lot's going on. I'm really digging the last few weeks of Dynamite. They're really just ramping up these stories. It's coming to a head for the pay-per-view. AEW, I feel like when they're on all cylinders leading to a pay-per-view, is such must-see TV. Every segment is just awesome. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So Dynamite kicked off this week with Phillip's favorite wrestler, Kenny Omega, the AEW World Champion. Sorry, I tried to say that with a straight face. Taking on Alan Angels from the Dark Order. Phillip, I'll start with you since Kenny Omega is your favorite. What do you think of this opening match here?
I didn't watch it.
What? You didn't watch Dynamite or just this match?
Huh?
This match and some of Dynamite.
Wow.
But tell me what happened. I mean, was it?
Brian, it was pretty one-sided, right? Like, Alan just put up a little fight, but really it was just Kenny Omega being dominant. I think the sent a message to Hangman, like, all right, I'm the world champion. You're coming after the best of the best.
You see? That's why I don't like Kenny Omega. He couldn't let anybody else get their stuff in.
Oh my God. On the Brian, what'd you think here? I mean, it was a pretty one-sided match, but the big takeaway was Hangman came out afterwards to make the save against, his friend from the Dark Order. And then he cut the promo and said, Kenny, here's your title. You left it in the ring. You got 10 days left to have it. Enjoy it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, what'd you think of just the match itself and then the Hangman's promo for him?
The match was okay. It was what it was. The cleaner doing his thing in that squared circle. The aftermath felt like Hogan and Sting heading into Starrcade.
97?
It was yes.
Oh, that was great, right?
Yes, it was. It felt very like you just knew, like when everyone knew he's taking that WCW championship from Hogan. He's gonna beat Hogan at Starrcade.
Which I'm trying to remember, he won, but then had to give it back, right? Wasn't there?
Yeah. We don't talk about that. I guess we don't talk about that.
No, let's.
But I feel like we all know. We all.
So did I.
I watched it live too.
Yeah, we all
remember
it. Phil, we just. I was gonna say. Phil, you were in a crib watching, we just staring up,
Yeah, exactly.
Sting! Instead of Sting, he's Sting!
Sting! And that's what we should do. That's what we should do. We should Photoshop Philip as a baby in front of a TV screen watching Nitro in 1997.
Give me his Throwback Thursday.
Look, see, I was watching this stuff live.
Yeah.
But your face right now on a baby body in a crib staring at a TV screen. See, I'm watching. Or it should be like Big E. Remember when Big E was looking at the TV like this?
Hey, no, I got a meme for that, bro.
Oh my goodness. But I feel like Hangman, we all know and we all want him to win the AEW title. This is his moment.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was cool. It was decent.
Dude, what if they pull a swerve and let Kenny Omega win at Full Gear?
Oh, I would. Dude, I love that.
Dude,
I want them to do that so bad.
The heat he would get, Hangman, he kicks out the One Wing Angel the first one, but then Kenny does it a second time and just ends it.
You know what you do?
How mad that crowd would be.
You know what you do? I would have Kenny beat Adam and then have the rematch happen on Dynamite.
Oh, okay.
And then have Adam win there on
Big
Dynamite.
Pop or Big
Didn't
Ratings
they do
pop
that with Goldberg and Hogan?
Well, they had Goldberg beat Hogan on Nitro, 6 nights before Bash at the Beach, but Hogan wouldn't even defend the title that night. He was in a mixed tag with I think Rodman and Jay Leno.
Something happened, and then they did it in the Georgia Dome on Nitro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a big night for Goldberg because he had the U.S. title, right, and the world title.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man. But I hope Hangman wins at Full Gear because it comes full circle because 1 year ago at Full Gear, that's where the team broke up. So I know a lot of people want Hangman to win at All Out, but listen, All Out was a stacked show with Bryan Danielson, CM Punk's first match, Adam Cole's debut, all that stuff. A lot going on there. So spread it to Full Gear, and then it makes sense. 1 full year of when they broke up as a tag team, it's the same pay-per-view that Hangman wins and beats the guy that turned on him. And also, wasn't that the episode of Being the Elite where Adam was wearing his gear all the time? Remember on Being the Elite, there was a gimmick or storyline for a while where Hangman was always wearing his gear wherever he went.
He was trying to get Full Gear ready, and then they named the pay-per-view Full Gear.
Yeah,
but he was trying to get Full Gear ready for was it All In or was it?
I think it was All In.
Is that what it was? Yeah. So
no, I think it was it All Out? It might have been All Out.
I thought it was All In.
All Out, probably. I don't know.
No, because All In he killed
right.
who we cannot say.
Yeah.
But
all the true penis druids.
The penis druids, yeah.
Druids.
Yeah, he was getting ready for All Out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
okay.
Full Gear ready?
Yeah. So I'm excited. Obviously, A question I want to ask you guys, I didn't have a chance to ask you. I'm glad this segment happened because it finally adds a little more spark of like anger and like emotions into this feud. Heyman saying, you got 10 days, enjoy it. What do you guys think about the main event last week on Dynamite where it was like the Ghostbusters Halloween costume theme? I was kind of like, I'm not a fan of this. It's a little too goofy for your main event world title picture storyline here. Phillip?
Yeah, Adam Cole left the biggest company in the world for that. Yeah, I'm not afraid to say it. Really, bro? Really?
He got with his friends, you know.
Like the goofiest thing WWE's ever done with main eventers is what, the Lakers jersey thing, right?
That's appropriate, though.
One episode of Raw, when the Lakers beat up Denver because Vince couldn't get the building. That's like the goofiest thing they've done with top stars and main eventers. Come on, bro. You have your heavyweight champion, your top faction, one of the hottest free agents that just comes to sign with their company, and they're going to be running around in Ghostbuster outfits? Come on, bro.
Yeah, I was a little turned off because, like, listen, I'm all for fun as far as, like, you know, Halloween costume gimmick matches, but you usually do that with your comedic wrestlers or your mid-card people. It's in the middle of the show. WWE does it all the time with, like, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas time, you know, different like holiday or theme.
Yeah, like, notice the food fights in WWE, Roman Reigns isn't having a food fight.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean?
So that's why it's like, okay, you got your main event stars here, and they're just goofing off in costumes. To me, it was like, I want to feel more anger against these two guys, like a blood feud. These guys were former tag team partners that had this falling out. I want more animosity between the two of them, and I wasn't feeling that with the costumes. Brian, what were your kind of thoughts on that?
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. It's like, I can't imagine Roman Reigns, you know, main event of SmackDown, and tonight Roman Reigns costume party.
What would Roman Reigns' costume be? What would he dress up as? Like, what would be a good costume for him? I mean, that's something to think about. Like, I don't catch you guys off guard with that. Yeah, but what would it be?
He would probably be The Rock, and then the Usos. Oh no, wait, no, he would be The Rock. Or he could be Rikishi, and then the Usos could be Scotty 2 Hotty and Grandmaster Sexay.
That would be pretty funny.
Roman's character would have to be something more serious.
Be like
Tony Soprano or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a mob boss.
I saw, maybe they could be like Marvel characters. He could be Thanos with the glove.
Could be Thanos.
Paint him purple. Yep. Mm-hmm. That's what he do. And then, the Usos, who they could be? Cap and Iron Man or something. Going up against him.
Who would Paul Heyman be?
I have no idea.
He could be Ant-Man.
No, it'd be Thor.
Thor, okay.
Remember
that
Thor,
works.
you know, had the beer belly.
But yeah, I don't know why they did this. I was sitting in a bar, right, trying to explain wrestling to somebody while this was happening. And me and the bartender, like, we're big wrestling fans. And so this comes on, and the non-wrestling fans look at us like, really, this is what y'all are into? Like, just the amount of disappointment I felt, I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, that's the type of segment where it's like, people come in, question me as a wrestling fan, like, why are you watching this? You know, you're about to be 38 years old, and why are you watching this stuff?
If WWE did it, that's how people would react. But because AEW is cool and has that certain demographic, people they love it.
They let it go. They give them slack, or and there is some hypocrisy amongst the fans. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, one company does one thing, if the other one does the same thing, it gets perceived differently, and they don't get the same bad rap for it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah,
like some people say, Big E should be serious, but Kenny Omega is in a Ghostbusters costume and shooting jump shots with the Toon Squad.
So that's something, you know, maybe in the coming weeks we can have a discussion about. If Kenny does lose the title, let's review his title reign. Our thoughts about it. That's something to just think about. Put it out there right now. It's like, let's review his title reign. Was it worth it? Was it deserved to be that long? Was it good? Mm-hmm. Was it bad? Underwhelming? All that stuff. So that's something to think about. All right. So then next up we saw, and I'm just going to go over some of the highlights. I'm not going to break down every segment here, but, you know, CM Punk cuts this promo, and he pretty much acknowledges Jon Moxley's, you know, not being there tonight, what's going on. And then, he said he wanted to confront Eddie Kingston and confront Eddie Kingston about, the issue, their interaction on Rampage last week. But apparently Eddie Kingston's not there, so he's going to wait to do it on Rampage. And then he said, well, he was going to be Moxley's replacement in the tournament, but he can't now because he wants to take care of Eddie Kingston first before this tournament. So you guys can blame him for me not being in the tournament. So he's trying to put the blame on Eddie Kingston for why he's not going to be in the tournament. What do you guys think of like that promo here? As far as I'm okay with it because it was adding fuel to the fire, and what happened on Rampage was totally worth it here. So what'd you think of like CM Punk trying to say, hey, I would have been in this tournament, but you can blame Eddie Kingston because I want to take care of that business first. I'm a little shocked because, like, wouldn't you want to go after the title? Is that more important than Eddie Kingston?
He's still just happy to be there. Remember that.
I guess. I guess he, at this point, he'd rather just, take out guys who are giving him a bad time or, who are interrupting his promos. I don't know.
I feel like it's one of those make it make sense moments.
Yeah.
Again, not to continue to harp on it, but if someone passed up a championship opportunity, it's kind of like when I can't think of the situation. Or it's kind of like with the 24/7 championship when someone doesn't want to go for that kind of makes it look like, oh, it's a title that doesn't matter. Just to kind of make what I'm saying make sense. Like it's like,
that's the excuse that they're giving.
Yeah, like why wouldn't you want to go put yourself in opportunity, put yourself in place to be able to challenge for the championship at this point? Eddie Kingston could wait. We'll deal with that later on. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, but again, it's like, wow, dream match. Yeah, cool. Eddie Kingston, CM Punk. Like, this is going to be awesome. No one's really, again, I think some fans they want to be in control, right? So they don't want CM Punk to be in title picture or champion right now. So yeah, we don't care. Put him up against any and everybody else.
Yeah,
the fans will let you know when it's time for CM Punk to go after the championship.
Yeah. So we'll go into more of that based on what happened on Rampage. I don't know about you guys. I'm not really into the whole Inner Circle versus the America's Top Team / Man of the Year storyline.
It's great.
I'm
Ethan
confused.
Page, Scorpio Sky, Paige Van Zandt. It's great.
Wait, why are you confused, Brian?
I lost track of what's going on.
Yeah, me too. Because I was trying to remember, wait, how did we get here? Because originally, Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, they just became a tag team out of nowhere. Which I was like, Ethan Page, you left Impact. You were in an amazing tag team, the North. And you signed with AEW, I thought, dude, he should be getting a push as a singles star, as a heel. It could be a top heel for the mid-card scene. But instead, he just becomes another tag team with Scorpio Sky, and they're sitting up in the rafters, and all of a sudden, Dan Lambert joins them out of nowhere. Like, they never really explained this partnership, and then all of a sudden, he's like, you start bringing his UFC or his MMA fighters with him, and they just start giving Inner Circle crap, and all of a sudden just turn into this feud. So it's a feud that I just don't really care too much about right now, and I hate saying that, but it's like, all right, I guess it's a filler match for the pay-per-view. But ultimately, Dan Lambert is chosen as one of the 5 guys in the match here, and that was the whole point of this segment, was just to catch Dan Lambert off guard, and he said like he's the number 1 person that runs American Top Team, and then Chris Jericho's like, hey, you said that, so that means you're eligible for this match. And so they signed him, and Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, and a couple MMA fighters. So I'm curious how this match is going to play out. Like, are those guys going to actually wrestle? I wonder just how good this match is going to be. So
a member of the Inner Circle should turn on Jericho and join America's Top Team.
That would be interesting what happens here. And listen, we all know Dan Lambert's going to take the pin. Mm-hmm. That way, no one else looks bad in loss. I think that's all that's going to happen. That's what it's setting up. Just having Dan Lambert in this match so he can take the pin. That's all it is. He's going to be the goofy. Like, I'm trying to think of, how many times we've seen in matches where the one guy or person's not a wrestler, and they gotta go out there and try to wrestle for the first time, inexperienced. So we'll see this play out. But yeah, let's see. Also, we saw MJF cut a great promo about Darby Allin, and Darby Allin attacks him. What do you think about this feud? It's really it's a battle of two day oneers, Phillip, as you said.
It's a battle of the pillars.
Yeah, it's a battle of these two guys who are pillars, day oneers for the company, and it's almost like they're really trying to establish, I guess, who's the best day oneer. Is that, Brian? Is that the best way to kind of look at this angle here?
Go ahead, Phillip.
Well, I mean, if you were to say who's the best day oneer, you would say Darby Allin because he won a title.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
would you though?
I mean,
to answer the question,
hasn't won a championship yet.
I definitely think this is, a battle of who's the best day oneer. I would say it's MJF. I mean, he's gone against some of the. Win, lose, or draw. He's wrestled some of the best in the company already. Mm-hmm. Everyone talks about him being the hottest heel, not just in AEW, but in wrestling, period.
Okay, that's fine, but what's
all
wrestling
they ever say about Darby? I sound like Phillip. All they ever say about Darby.
What's wrestling about? Making money and winning championships. Darby Allin won a championship.
I really think Phillip, right now, early pick.
Where are your picks, Amy?
I think MJF is going to win, keep him strong, and I think he's going to be the one to defeat Hangman for that title down the road. I think that's where they're going here. So that's my booking thinking right now. So just saying.
Remember that, Phillip.
Yeah, it was still fun seeing Darby Allin and MJF, battle it out. So I'm like, what they're doing. Like I said, this show was just good at just adding more fuel to the fire for all the different storylines heading into full gear. Okay, a match that I really enjoyed was Cody Rhodes taking on Andrade here. Now, earlier in the night, we saw Malachi Black cut a promo in regards responding to Tony Khan barring him from ringside, and he said it doesn't matter. That will not affect the outcome of this match. And he made a reference to Julius Caesar and said Julius Caesar was stabbed by multiple people, meaning multiple people are mad at Cody and want to go after him. So great promo. Brian, any quick thoughts about that promo Malachi Black did to set up that match here?
Yeah, not too much. I feel like he's still very, very good. I can tell that he's in full control of what he's doing and what he's saying and how he's saying it. It's so calculated and it's very much so him. And I like it, but I still don't really like him in the ring. But
who, Cody or Andrade? Or Malachi, I'm sorry.
Malachi.
Gotcha. Yeah. So the match itself, okay, let's talk about the Cody versus Andrade. I enjoyed the match as far as the pacing. They were pretty stiff, beating the crap out of each other. And they went all over the place, all over the ring, outside. Andrade was countering what Cody was throwing out there. Cody would try and jump out of the ring. Andrade would jump out there and catch it or, meet up with him. It was a really good match. I really enjoyed it. Ultimately, though, Cody's trying to go for a dive outside, and all of a sudden we see FTR jump out of nowhere and hit Cody with the AAA tag team titles that they won a few weeks ago. And Cody, gets knocked out, falls back in the ring, and Andrade makes the pin. And we see Cody, lose here, and we see on Rampage that they cut a promo Andrade with FTR, and then MJF comes in and says, all right, my guys in the Pinnacle, they helped you out. I had no problem lending you guys out to him for a couple weeks, and then he pays them. So because I was kind of concerned, I was like, wait, are FTR going to align with Andrade now, or are they still with the Pinnacle? But no, they're still Pinnacle, but MJF is a businessman and took money for they're assassins, hire guns for money. So I thought, okay, that's cool. All right, Andrade needs some backup. And but Phillip, so what do you think of the fact that FTR attacked Cody here?
It caught me off guard. A couple things. I'm going to go back to the Malachi Black promo.
Okay.
I like how they're kind of Cody gets referred to Julius Caesar a lot. Remember, Jake Roberts referred to him as that when he was feuding with Lance Archer. So I like how we're keeping the Cody Julius Caesar thing going.
I got to do some more. Maybe I got to look at maybe the history. I don't know too much about Julius Caesar. I forgot when I learned about him in school.
He was stabbed 33 times.
So I wonder. Yeah, I wonder if that's where Cody's trying to. His character is going.
His downfall.
He needs to tell the fans to stick it.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'll have to read up more about that. But I wonder, because I was like, what's Cody trying to do with his character? He knows people are booing him, but he's set in stone that he's going to stay being a babyface. He doesn't want to turn. He's so stubborn. I was like, and the fact he's acknowledging that, this is leading to something. This is a larger story.
Julius Caesar, he was a stubborn human being as well.
Okay, I have to read up on more about him.
But the FTR stuff, I mean, I liked it. The hired guns were, I mean, they've been open about it. They like tag team wrestling and making money and drinking. So,
And then keep in mind, Cody tweeted out and said, I guess I shouldn't have started that FTR chant years ago.
Dang.
Right?
I remember the APW shows, there were FTR signs.
Yeah. When Cody
I have one in my closet.
But, Cody, on Being the Elite, we kept saying, fuck the Revival. Anytime he had a chance, saying, fuck the Revival.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it's now coming full circle. And this is an example of Malachi Black reference in his promo that, listen, Cody, I'm not the only one that can't stand you. You've made a lot of enemies.
Know what?
Over a long period of time. And this showed that Cody pissed off FTR years ago with the fuck the Revival stuff. These guys are getting their revenge on him. So it makes you wonder, who else did Cody cross over the years?
We should go back and watch some of those old Being the Elites and then kind of...
For clues.
Yeah, to see, all right, who could be next.
That's the thing. It's like, who else did Cody piss off over the last few years?
Flip Gordon.
That can come back after him. Yeah.
And he's about to be released from that Ring of Honor contract.
Yeah, think about it.
Ooh,
so how many people did Cody piss off that could come after him with the help of Andrade, or Andrade finding people from the attack, or Malachi Black, I should say. So it's interesting. But maybe the biggest thing I got to pop was, I don't know about you guys. So keep in mind, Tully, is the manager for FTR, and Arn Anderson's with Cody, and they both get in the ring and stare each other down. So it's like former horsemen, former tag team partners staring each other down. I'm like, what are you doing? So Arn's like confronting Tully, like, what are you doing, man? I don't know. I popped for that. I was like, oh my God, like they're finally acknowledge each other again in the ring. So that was kind of cool. I don't know if that's going to lead to anything, or it's just a one-time, wink to the audience. Like,
Arn's going to give Tully a spine buster.
Dude, that would be awesome. Just takes him
Man.
out. Yeah. So, and in that main event time, so Orange Cassidy was taking on Miro, who was announced as the replacement for Jon Moxley in the World Title Eliminator Tournament semifinal match. Good match here. Orange Cassidy definitely still selling the rib injury from last month, and he definitely wrestled a little more aggressively than what we normally see out of Orange Cassidy's character here.
He was taped up, right?
Yeah, so he hit the DDP.
Right. DDP in '98, bro.
I watched that live, man.
So did I. Yeah,
that's what we gotta do. We gotta do this, Brian. I don't know if you're good with Photoshop.
Yes.
Let's get a baby in front of a TV and film, and we'll put different scenarios from the Attitude Era.
I'll give you my baby picture, bro. Let's do it.
But we'll put different, like, Goldberg getting stunned by Scott Hall with the cattle prod.
I remember that.
Goldberg beating Hogan for the 2 titles.
I remember that too.
All that stuff. Shawn Michaels winning. It just
I was really more of a Lenny Lane guy when I was watching WCW though.
Wow, Lenny Lane.
Yeah, you thought I didn't know? You thought this was a game?
What about Von Hammer?
Bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the goon next year for
American
Halloween.
males. Scotty Riggs.
Dude, American males.
American males.
Hey, we should be 3 count, guys. Let's be 3 count.
But, hey, dude, it was a fun main event here. Miro won eventually in pretty dominating fashion here. So, Brian, what you think of this main event here? Because Bryan Danielson, was on commentary, and then after Miro won, Bryan Danielson came to the ring, shook his hand, and that's going to be your finals right there at Full Gear, and the winner will be the new number 1 contender for the world title.
Yeah, I thought the match was good. Again, I kind of feel like people are getting way too much. I get it, but I feel like people are getting way too much offense in on Miro, more than what I feel is needed. I feel like Miro should be a monster. I'm not saying he has to squash everyone, but he's got to learn, especially from mistakes. And when you go in there with someone who is this quick and athletic and has the agility of someone like Orange Cassidy or a Sammy Guevara, right? When you lose to Sammy Guevara, you need to learn from those mistakes. And I mean, he won, right? But still, like, get it done quick. You don't want, because one mistake, you may not be in the finals of this Eliminator tournament, but turn into Daniel Bryan and Miro having the stand, or Bryan Danielson, excuse me.
Friend of the show.
Yes.
We can say that now. We can say that, friend of the show.
Absolutely. Bryan, he's so fearless. He's always been like this, but ever since coming to AEW, he seems more and more fearless. It's almost like he's laughing. Like, I know the natural smile on his face is he's having such a good time, but you could use that. And if I'm his opponent, I would feel disrespected. Like, what are you laughing for? Like, like, come on, like, don't disrespect me. You should be afraid. You should be afraid. You should fear me. So.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's the thing is I was kind of curious where Miro's character was going to go, because I think since he lost the title, they're going to keep him off TV for a while and probably bring him back after Full Gear. But obviously with the Moxie situation, they're like, hey, can you come in and be this fill-in? So now probably whatever plans they were going to do for him probably change, and it's a little bit of a curveball, speed bump here, which is fine. But yeah, with Miro, how he bounces back or where he goes with his character now it's going to be really interesting here. But Phillip, how about yourself? The main event here, Miro getting the win, and I'm actually excited. Bryan Danielson versus Miro. I'm like, all right.
I think Miro needs to beat Daniel Bryan.
Wow, you really think he should win?
Because look, man, could you imagine Hangman Page wins the world championship for AEW, right? His first defense, he loses it to Miro. Miro stands on top of him, foot on chest, holding that championship.
Did we ever see Rusev versus Daniel Bryan in WWE? Would that ever?
We probably have.
I'm trying to think if that ever happened. So
I'm sure it did.
I don't know. That's something we could maybe look up. I'm kind of curious how that
probably
played out.
On a random SmackDown back in like 2014. Yeah.
yeah, probably. Absolutely. So, but I'm excited.
Phillip wants AEW to do Hangman like they did Lex Luger when he won the championship and then lost it. I told you, I knew Hangman was the new Lex Luger.
See, I really thought Hangman was going to be the Stone Cold of AEW, but now I'm starting to see it, man. He is going to be Lex Luger.
I want to say this. Daniel Bryan wrestled Rusev for a men's Money in the Bank qualifying match 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Who won that one?
I
don't know if the results are there.
Let's see.
No, but anyway, overall, I thought it was a really great episode of Dynamite here. It got me more amped up for all the matches going into Full Gear. It's a pretty stacked show. So let's real quick just touch on Rampage real quick. Rampage opening match, Bryan Danielson versus Anthony Bowens of the Acclaim. What'd you guys think of Max Caster's rap to the ring? Like, Brian, he pretty much, Max Caster said, like, I'll end more guys' careers than your father-in-law does. Like, I'm paraphrasing.
He took a shot at Bree. He took a shot at Johnny Ace. Max Caster's a gem. Rusev won that one. I'm looking at it.
Oh, Rusev won that
on
one.
YouTube.
Okay.
And it said, one of the comments is like, who's here after Miro defeated Orange Cassidy to face Bryan Danielson in AEW?
Let me see.
It's funny, bro. But Max Caster, that dude is a gem. He is awesome.
Let me think here. I'm just trying to look up if it has it here.
Yeah, send you that. I'm gonna need Brian to start busting out some raps.
You know what? I might do that.
No, but
I might do that.
But no, it's cool. I mean, I'm sure Bryan Danielson gave the okay, because you could tell he was like staring there, and he wasn't trying to break character, but he was probably like smirking a little bit. So I think he probably gave the okay. It's all right. It's like, dude, go ahead, take shots. By the way, do you think Laurinaitis has been like? I'm kind of curious what the relationship between Laurinaitis and Bryan Danielson is right now, because that's his stepfather-in-law. So I wonder, does Laurinaitis ask Bryan Danielson, like, how's it over there? How is AEW? Got any guys over there that wants to come to WWE? Or does he just say, how long's your contract? All right, you got to come back to WWE. Like, is he already trying to persuade him to come back to WWE? I would love to know the relationship between the two of them.
I would love to know how that parting was. Like, like once Laurinaitis knew for sure that Bryan wasn't coming back, like, oh man.
I bet he went into Vince's office. He's not coming back, Vince.
Vince is like,
that's your son-in-law. How'd you let him go?
What's
wrong with you? How much do I pay you? You let my top guy go. What's wrong with you? You idiot.
You're But so yeah, it's hey pal. but so no. Anyway, but the match itself. I mean, like I said, Max Caster's rap was awesome to say all that stuff, because Laurinaitis is the one who made all the cuts the day before, and this was a live episode of Rampage. Rare. It wasn't pre-tape on a Wednesday after Dynamite, so it was nice that they were able to make a reference to something that happened on Thursday the next night on Friday on Rampage. You know what I mean? Like, it was cool. Like, it wasn't something that was pre-tape and leaked out already what was going to happen. But the match itself, dude, good opening match here for Bryan Danielson. It just looks like he's having so much fun. Phillip, what do you think of Bryan Danielson's kind of like in-ring prowess now? He's very much, in WWE, he's more like the underdog style, like he's overcoming the odds. This one, he's a killer in the ring. He's beating the crap out of everyone.
He said it when he first got there. He's here to kick dudes' heads in, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah. Dude, Brian, you notice, like, it seems like every match he needs to leave out of there with a red chest, which is all the beating from it. So, it was great here. So, it's so much fun to watch him. But probably the highlight of this Rampage was CM Punk coming out to the ring, calling out Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston finally comes out, and they have a face-off here. And, man, for what? It was like 12 minutes long, roughly. Brian, what'd you think of this promo between the two of them?
Incredible. Yeah. It was. I try not to hate on them, too much. Mm-hmm. But man, it was good. I had to go back. I watched it like 3 times.
Yeah, I watched it twice. Yeah, I went back and watched it again. Yeah,
and really just to understand it, and it kind of made me think like, okay, I see why they got something here. I see why he elected to go this route instead of the other route. Yeah. Felt real at times. It made you, and see, that's what I appreciate and like about segments or promos like this in wrestling. It's like ones that make you think, oh, is he serious? Like, I don't know. Like, did they discuss? I mean, according to Phil, no one discusses anything backstage.
Well, you see, I'm backstage at shows, so I know that these things don't happen.
But do they, like, some stuff might have been said that, a
little close to home.
Yeah, definitely.
Because what I like how real it felt was, one, Eddie Kingston, he said, listen, CM Punk, I don't like you because when I was coming up, I respected you. He name dropped Samoa Joe and a bunch of other guys from like the Ring of Honor, the indie days back 15 plus years ago. And he said, I really respect you guys. I want to be like you guys, but you guys badmouth me and you prevented me from like succeeding, more or less, right? Is that just paraphrasing there?
Yeah.
CM Punk on the other hand said, listen, we treated you a certain way because we saw your potential and we wanted to make sure you were pushing yourself to the fullest. Like, we saw how great you could have been, and we did what we did in order to make sure you were going to go in the right direction and push yourself to the next level. We wanted you to succeed. So it's really interesting. Both of them have, I guess what made this segment really, truly believable or felt real was both guys in their mind felt like they're in the right here. And I think that's when like an argument or whoever, when people have a falling out or something, each person feels like their side of the story is the right side. Does that make sense, Phil? Like where you feel like how you feel in the situation, it's I'm in the right, you're in the wrong, I'm the victim here, I deserve to feel this way, you don't, you're the asshole here. So it makes, they both presented their side of the story, the argument why they felt a certain way, and they both presented why they feel they're in the right. And so that's what made this feel so more authentic. And I think that's something, I think it's missing in some other, feuds, like, you might see WWE and stuff. They kind of had that with like, Drew McIntyre and Jinder. They didn't go down that route, or Drew with Sheamus. Like there are people there who we know, I'm just using this example, but people who are legit friends and storylines, and they don't play into that realism enough.
That's fine, but you got to take real shots. Like Roman and John, they're going to take real shots. Mm-hmm. You need that in wrestling. And Punk, I mean, he was the king of taking real shots when he was in WWE. Mm-hmm. Didn't matter if he was talking to Vince, Hunter, Kevin Nash, Cena, Foley, Hart, etc. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And this reminded me of like that CM Punk that I grew up loving. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is it. This is the drama I needed in Eddie Kingston. I mean, that guy's so good. Coming unhinged. It was like a roasting session back in the day. But one dude says something to where you're like, oh, okay, you want to go there? All right, well, I'm about to go there too. It was like one of them.
Well, and I think that Eddie Kingston might have been more of the CM Punk and brought a little more of the realness. To me, it felt like CM Punk was taken aback a bit. Mm-hmm. I was like, yo, has Punk lost a step in his promo game? Like, he seems surprised and doesn't seem like he really knows what to say or how to counter everything that Kingston's saying, which to me made it more real. Like he was surprised, like, oh, we're going there? Mm-hmm. You're going to say that?
Yeah. So like I said, it was just, it really was believable because Eddie Kingston, in his mind, he felt like he was the victim. He was in the right. Like, I love and respect you guys, but you guys held me back, or you guys treated me wrong, all that stuff. CM Punk's like, no, we treated you a certain way because we saw the potential and we want to make sure you live to that potential, and you didn't. You're just a bum. And I was like, whoa. So it's like,
you know what it felt like? CM Punk and John Cena.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. Kingston's Punk and Punk is Cena.
Bro, he called him a bum. Yeah. Insulting that. You know how many people I've called a bum in my day?
Yeah, like that's the thing. It's like that's why I love this promo, because like both guys had credible sides to their story and why they felt a certain way, and it's what made it felt so real. It's just like they, see Eddie Kingston felt like the victim here, and CM Punk is like, and he didn't flat out say it, but it kind of made it sound like CM Punk, like, who are you? You went off to great things while I had to, pay my dues and fight to where I'm at right now. Even said, like, the reason I missed last week's episode or Dynamite, thought I was sick, had to get COVID tests, and like, we don't want you here. You don't belong here. Because, CM Punk, regardless of his Ring of Honor roots, and he's been out wrestling for 7 years, he still was a WWE guy and was a top guy there and was the face of WWE for a while. So I'm sure no matter what CM Punk does or says, a lot of people still view him. You were not, like, I want to say sold out is the word, but like a band that was like underground and they get big, and then all the other bands from that scene might view that band as a sellout.
I'm going to throw this line out there. Eddie Kingston feels the way about Punk the way he did about Moxley when they were feuding. Mm-hmm. You sold your soul and went to the land of sports entertainers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So they're almost, copying a little bit of that storyline again here in AEW between the two of them. So I love this, and then turned to a brawl, like CM Punk headbutting him, and they start brawling.
Yeah, Kingston was like, why don't you go away for another 7 years, but this time don't come back. And I like how we cut him off right before he could get it out. I'm like, oh.
And I don't know about you guys, like, finally CM Punk is having like a storyline, like he's finally having like a feud that has like real emotion. And it's like we're finally getting this a better feud or program for CM Punk. We've been waiting for the last couple months since he signed with the company to do something of more significant value.
Brian, didn't I say that on the Bulletcast like a week or two ago? Like Punk needs to do something. I'm getting kind of tired of it.
Yeah,
TK's listening.
So but shout out to Eddie Kingston. Seems like he's their go-to guy to jumpstart a rivalry with someone and get people talking. And so Eddie Kingston just shows his value.
To win. He needs to beat him.
That is
Eddie
tough.
Kingston is going to be DDP. He's going to have his DDP run, and he's going to win that world title one day.
And people would pop for that.
Yes.
So I love it. I watched that live too.
Yeah, same.
So that's another one. When DDP wins, Brian put babyface Phil looking at it. So DDP to the NWO would be Eddie Kingston to the Elite. Is that early prediction? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I still think what's going to happen is I think Kenny's going to lose. Well, no, it wouldn't make sense. But I think Adam Cole is going to want to be the number one person, and then he probably leaves the Elite because he's like, listen, you guys are too goofy, whatever. And then he leaves and then forms Undisputed Era in AEW. I think it's going to happen. And it's like a Civil War like type of thing. Remember like the Civil War in the Bullet Club a few years ago? Bullet Club is fine. I think they're going to try to redo that. But instead of Cody, it's going to be Adam Cole.
Yep.
That's what I'm thinking for. So anyway, main event was John Silver versus Adam Cole here, or AKA Budge. What was the Budge thing? Was that from Being the Elite?
Yeah, so John Silver. So, Adam Cole's, it's all about the boom.
Yeah.
Silver was like, it's all about the budge. I don't know where the budge comes from, but he did that, and like it's over.
Well, Silver was doing the interview with Shivani and said, like, he told Adam Cole he should be his manager and he should cut his hair. So obviously play on the reports that Adam Cole was going to maybe potentially a storyline idea was go to the main roster and just be Keith Lee's manager and just go by Adam or something and cut his hair. So it's obviously anytime they make a reference of Adam Cole being a manager, it's a play on those dirt sheet reports. But anyway, great match here. It's great to see John Silver get a main event TV time opportunity like on a Rampage here. But sure enough, it was funny. Adam Cole had him outside, and the Young Bucks were there. And they do the kissing thing. They kiss each other's foreheads and stuff. But then ultimately, we saw John Silver hit the Liger bomb on Cole, but Cole kicked out, and then Cole went for the Panama Sunrise. Silver countered, and Adam Cole hit back with 2 super kicks and the running knee to pin Silver here. So, fun main event here for Adam Cole. Keep his winning ways, and it looks like for Full Gear, it's going to be the Super Kliq versus Jurassic Express and Christian Cage. Adam Cole was selling the head injury because he took was it Phillip the concerto from the brawl that they had on Dynamite this week. So that was kind of cool, just continuation there. We see what happens. It was nice to see Jungle Boy cut a promo a little bit, finally do some more mic time.
Jungle Man.
To Jim Ross, he just says Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. Like he just makes up different names for him.
That's Jumping Jack Perry. Hey, did y'all hear JR's coming out with a cannabis line?
Yeah.
I've seen that.
What? He's in there with the barbecue sauce and now yo, JR. What's going on? I need to know.
Hand in hand.
I need to know.
So, you trying to get a job with him?
Man, I'm trying. Is Rebel going to be there? He's always hanging out with Rebel. I'm trying to be wherever Jim Ross is, bro.
But dude, listen, I thought it was a very fun week in AEW television. Lots of look forward to with Full Gear coming up. So I'm super excited for it. So looking forward to it. So maybe next week, guys, I don't know about you, but maybe we do just a review for Dynamite and maybe our predictions for Full Gear.
Picks? There are picks? What are the picks? What are the...
Well, no, we'll wait till Dynamite. It'll be the go home episode next week.
I wrote down that Huey has MJF. What are the picks?
We'll see.
We have to get your picks too, Phil. We can't forget.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's just gonna sit there and.
Is there a championship on the line? What title is this?
We don't need
The
a
Undisputed
championship.
Bulletcast Heavyweight Championship.
It is the Bulletcast Heritage Universal title.
Heritage. What heritage? 3 years?
Well, of course. What do you mean? This title has more heritage than the AEW title. What are you talking about? This is a real world's championship.
No, I'm gonna be like Okada and walk around my own championship and say, "Bring this one back." Yeah,
there we go.
Let's. You see, I don't think Jack Tunney. I don't think Jack Tunney Jr. would like that.
Dude, you see all the commercials they're running for that show now, the New Japan show.
Yeah,
there's a ton of commercials for it, trying to sell that out. See, I don't know how the ticket sales are though.
Are we going?
I don't know. Should we? How much are the tickets? I don't know how much they are.
I saw like
not that bad.
I saw like a decent seat for like 120.
I seen a floor seat.
I'm going to
for
Disneyland
like
for my birthday, so I got.
Are you?
Yeah,
What?
the following week.
Disneyland?
Yeah,
Wait, your birthday's next week?
November 14th.
Oh
Yo,
man.
Huey.
Yeah, man. That's why I said I'm about to be 38.
Yo.
So I'm going to
Man.
Disneyland the following week. Yeah. So I'm putting it out there for you guys. So that's what I'm saying. Jimbo, I was talking to Jimbo the other day. So the West Coast Pro Wrestling Show would be my unofficial early birthday party.
Oh,
That's what
we
I'm
got to
talking
do
about.
something. What are we doing?
I don't know.
The streamers.
We got to kick it after the show.
We got to find, is Jacob Fatu going to be there? Is he wrestling on this?
I don't. You want me to hit up Fatu? Because I have my seat at the table is next to him too.
Hey, can you get that other guy at the table?
What other guy?
The head?
See,
Oh, I know. Vinny Massaro has been wanting to eat pizza with us. So maybe we should get Vinny Massaro to eat some pizza.
I love Vinny Massaro.
I love pizza.
I love calling
We should
Vinny
get Jeff
Massaro's
Cobb
matches.
out. Jeff Cobb do something.
Hey, he was at Ugwa in Vegas.
What?
Yeah, he popped in the compound before the show. I'm like, yo,
We're
that's
just
Jeff.
hanging out?
Yeah, I'm like,
Okay.
that's Jeff Cobb.
Is the unofficial member of the Inner Circle. Let's do it.
That's true. You remember
So, like,
that?
who's going to take Starboy's spot? They didn't announce anything yet, right?
Me.
No, they have not. We
Okay.
got to wait and see.
Me.
It's going to be Phillip running it.
Hey, man,
Okay.
I'll sit in the commentary booth.
Okay, I'm looking to see what else they announced anything here. So, yeah, get out there. We'll get Carl
What the
Fredericks out
hell?
there.
Brian Tronick has made his way into the ring.
Man,
So I'm just putting it out for the Kliqsters right now. Listen, come out to West Coast Pro Wrestling this Friday, November 12th, over at the State Room in South San Francisco. It's going to be a party.
hang out with all of us. I will have the Bulletcast Heritage Universal title
Undisputed.
with
Are you
me.
really going to bring that thing?
Undisputed.
I
Brian,
mean,
we're going to stereo super
Oh,
kick
no,
that
no,
fool.
wait. I mean,
We're going to rip his sweatshirt off. His
I
hoodie.
will be wearing a Bullet Bloodline hoodie. The prototype's out
gonna
there
bring me
now. But you see the way it's set up.
It's nowhere to be found like his picks.
What do you mean? Page not found, like when you go to a browser. I told you it's on my buddy's podcast, but it's Patreon only, so you got to pay like $50 to hear my picks. But it's there. It's out there. It's out there.
We'll start wrapping this up,
I got
man. We're going to run too long
Patreon.
now.
I got a $50 Patreon gift card.
All right. On that note, we'll start wrapping things up first. Start thinking about that damn Heritage whatever toy title. Tommy, what did Hogan call the WWE Championship, but the New Japan title? A trinket. Yeah, the trinket.
Well, Hulk Hogan doesn't know what he's talking about.
Well, no, he said the IWGP title. He's like, that's a real title.
I mean, is it really? Shawn Michaels never held it, so I don't count.
Phil, where can the Kliqsters find you online?
You people already know where to find me. Everybody's got a price for the $1 billion man.
Oh my God, this guy with the nicknames here.
The $1 billion man.
Billion-
Is that new?
Fill up my gas. Come
Just
on, man.
right now. It's that quick.
My God.
It's that quick. The
Brian, how about you?
Podchatech is out, though.
Kliqsters can find me at Brian Tronick. Follow my show at Within the Ropes, withintheropespodcast.com. The return is coming this week. I know I've been gone.
It's okay, man. You've been playing with your new microphone. You're getting
That's
that
right. I've been,
built in,
my new mic
installed. Yeah. I'm Baby Huey. Follow me on Facebook at Baby Huey Official, Twitter and Instagram at Baby Huey 83. That's my brother Tommy sitting behind me. Follow him on Twitter at Iron Fist 1982. Shout out to Tommy hanging out here in the background. And at In The Kliq on social media. Subscribe to us on your favorite podcast platform. Subscribe to us also on YouTube, man. Watch the videos, leave a comment, click a like, give us a thumbs up. That helps out. The thumbs up, the whole damn algorithm thing with YouTube and all that good stuff. inthekliq@gmail.com. We'll see you at the wrestling show. And on that note, let's go home. And that's the bottom line because Huey said so.